When people think of the American West, one of the first images that comes to mind is the cowboy. Cowboys are often shown riding horses, wearing wide-brimmed hats, boots with spurs, and carrying ropes to catch cattle. They are seen as symbols of adventure, hard work, and freedom, but the real story of cowboys is deeper than what we see in movies. It's a story of skill, survival, and tradition, shaped in part by the vaqueros, the original cattle herders of the West. The word cowboy refers to a person who worked on horseback to care for cattle. These workers guided large herds of cows across long distances, helping drive them from ranches to railroads or markets where the animals would be sold for meat. This was demanding work that required strength, patience, and a deep knowledge of animals and the land. Many of the cowboys' tools and techniques were borrowed from the vaqueros. The word vaquero comes from the Spanish word vaca, meaning cow. Vaqueros were expert horsemen and cattle handlers in Mexico and the southwestern parts of what is now the United States. Their traditions began in the 1500s with Spanish settlers who brought cattle and horses to the Americas. Vaqueros developed gear and skills like lassos, chaps, spurs, and wide hats that became part of cowboy life. As American settlers moved west in the 1800s, they learned from vaqueros and adapted their techniques. The cattle business grew, especially in Texas, where large ranches raised thousands of cows. After the Civil War, demand for beef increased in the northern states. Cowboys were hired to move cattle north on long trails, like the Chisholm Trail, to railroad towns such as Abilene and Dodge City. Cattle drives could last for weeks or months. Cowboys slept outside, kept watch over the herd day and night, and protected the animals from rustlers, cattle thieves, predators, and storms. They used songs, sometimes called cowboy lullabies, to calm the herd at night. A typical trail crew included a trail boss leader, wranglers who cared for the horses, and a cook who worked from a chuck wagon. Cowboy life was tough and full of danger. Riders faced harsh weather, long hours, and little rest. Many were young men seeking adventure or steady work. Some were former soldiers or farmers. Others were African American, Mexican, or Native American. Historians estimate that about 1 in 4 cowboys was black or Latino, a fact often left out of older movies and books. The clothing cowboys wore was made for function, not fashion. Wide-brimmed hats protected them from sun and rain. Bandanas helped keep out dust. Chaps protected their legs from brush and thorns. Their pointed boots made it easier to slide into stirrups quickly. Each part of a cowboy's outfit had a specific use. Rodeos started as friendly competitions between cowboys to show off their skills. Events like roping, bronco riding, and steer wrestling were ways to test the techniques cowboys used on the job. Today, rodeos remain a big part of Western culture, helping keep cowboy traditions alive. While vaqueros continued their work in ranching and cattle drives, especially in places like California, Arizona, and New Mexico, the cowboy identity grew across the West. The blending of vaquero and cowboy culture can still be seen today in language, gear, music, food, and place names. By the late 1800s, fences made from barbed wire and the growth of railroads changed everything. The need for long cattle drives faded, and open land was replaced by towns, farms, and private property. The era of the open-range cowboy began to disappear, but the image of the cowboy lived on. In the 1900s, Hollywood helped turn cowboys into legends. Western films often showed heroic cowboys battling outlaws, saving towns, and riding off into the sunset. While fun to watch, these movies rarely showed the full truth, like the hard labor, the dangers of the job, or the diversity of the real people who worked the range. Today, cowboys are still part of life in the American West. Ranchers ride horses, raise cattle, and teach younger generations the skills they've learned. Rodeos, country music, and Western festivals help pass on cowboy traditions. And the legacy of the vaqueros remains, too, woven into the culture, tools, and spirit of ranch life. The story of the cowboy is a story of the American West, a blend of cultures, a love of open land, and a commitment to hard work. Whether riding through history books or down dusty trails, the cowboy remains a powerful symbol of endurance, independence, and life on the frontier.